emotional to see what God is doing in your life and how you can still relate to him on that way. Now let me compare some things here. Let's compare these statements I just read about David to Jesus. Jesus is our ultimate comparison on this topic of a transparent relationship with God. Now, it may seem weird because yes, he is God. So is that a fair comparison? But I think showing these different comparisons might make a little more sense. So where David invited God to know and to search his heart, Jesus said, I and the Father are one in John 10. Where David loved God's law and wanted to know it, Jesus is the Word of God in John 1:1. Where David was unashamed of who God was and what he had done, Jesus actually spoke on behalf of God in John 10:25-29. Where David was thankful of God and what God had done in his life, Jesus too was thankful to the Father. You can read that in multiple places, Matthew 11, Matthew 15, and John 11. And where David recognized his life was dependent on the Lord, Jesus spoke of his life and the Father and their relationship being one, also in John 10. Where David was honest and called on God to answer his request, Jesus too was honest with the Father about the mission he was on while going to the cross. Jesus didn't hold back in this desire in his humanity. He did not want to go to the cross. Where David cried out to God, Jesus also cried out to the Father on the cross. And so with both people, we can understand that we can be honest with God. There's nothing more that God would want than for us to be open and honest with him and transparent. So there's more for both of these guys, but I wanted these to be an example. So if I were to put these ideas together in an equation about David being a man after God's own heart, it might look like this. David, plus sign, his being, invitational, honest with God, unashamed, thankful, dependent, etc., equals a man after God's own heart. Some of these ideas seem pretty lofty. I'm not wanting to promote it that it's something that's unattainable. I want you to be challenged that you can have the same kind of relationship with Jesus as David had. We don't know exactly when God made that declaration about David being a man after God's own heart. All we do know is that it was before he was king. He was a young man. So what about you? Would God identify you as a man or a woman after God's own heart? Do you want to be? Do you invite God to search your heart? Do you love his word or law? Are you honest with God when you need him? Do you long for answers from him? This is not a list of legalistic questions that you must answer in the affirmative to qualify. But this is a list for a starting point in your life to re-examine and to be encouraged. David was not a perfect person. God's declaration about him was before he was an adulterer and a murderer. But God did use him in spite of his deficiencies. God wants to use all of us and have a rich relationship with him. None of those questions are in God's court to respond to. We don't have to ask God if he wants to know us or he wants us to be a part of his life. It's in our court. Through Scripture, God is the invitational God, wanting to have a relationship with the crown of his creation. If your relationship with God isn't characterized with sincerity and genuineness, it can be. Nothing is holding it back. It's in your court to respond. So I hope you've been challenged. I hope you'll seek the Lord on what does it mean to be transparent. You don't have to hold anything back from him. hopefully it will translate into your own relationships within the church. But I hope first and foremost, it'll start with your relationship with God, because that's where it's most important. That's where we need to be honest with the Lord, whether that's with your sin, whether that's with your struggles, whether that's with your doubts. Go to him. Be known by him. And so that's my quick devotional, because we got a lot to do tonight. But I wanted to just share those things with you. I'm going to close in prayer, and then I'll turn it back over to Ben as we move on. Father, I thank you for this time tonight. And Lord, it was brief and short. And yet, Lord, I pray that you will challenge each of us in our relationship with you, that we would be children of yours who are called people after your own heart. I mean, we want to do your will. We're willing to do your will. Lord, these are challenging times, and there's a lot of emotions, from sadness to joy, heartache to celebration. Lord, I pray that we would learn to love you with all of our heart, with all of our mind, with all of our soul, and with all our strength. Lord, that you are first place in our lives, and that we long to know you more. Lord, I pray that tonight you will bring us joy as we celebrate seniors and remember all the good times. And we thank you for all you're doing in our lives. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Dennis. Did anybody have any comments or questions to what Dennis was saying? Now, we're going to have a roast tonight. We can have Stump the Professor to do. Try to get Dennis on Stump the Professor. Anyone? We've enjoyed having our interns giving their presentations. Two of them are finished. We still have one left. That'll be Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And if you have the time to be able to join Hannah Smith, she will be presenting on Judaism. And so that is one that would be really good for you guys to understand what Judaism believes. But also, if you can't make it on Sunday, we will be posting those on our YouTube video channel. If you guys haven't seen those being posted on that, we also have a couple videos on there. Daniel did our first viewpoint. Dennis has done a great job with creating those. And also Hannah Smith is also one that was interviewed for that. And I'm not sure, we had a couple that were volunteering to go ahead and do that. I think we got more of those coming up. So another thing that we want to encourage you guys is with connections, people that you may connect with. We're going to be putting something out that if you have people that you know that are coming to Purdue that we can connect with, we want to make sure that we try to do our very best in these unique times to reach out to the incoming freshmen. So we are 1 week away from not having any freshmen and having a whole new bunch of seniors. How many of you seniors received your diploma already? Nobody? I saw one Purdue student already received theirs. So they must be already on their way. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I saw it on, his dad works for Purdue. Maybe he got a special deal. I don't know. Tonight I want to start off, we're going to do the senior roast and toast, and I hope that we will enjoy our time of being able to share the moments that we've had with these seniors. For some of you, it's just been a short 8 months, and yet there's things that you might want to share. You can also put those things in writing. But tonight we want to be able to share some of those together. But before I do that, I am going to attempt, thanks to Zimba, we have a video that I'm going to attempt to try to play. So I need somebody to turn everything on where they can tell me, yes, it is showing up for you. I get worried about this part.
Oh, I can see it.
All right, cool. Let me hide that. Hopefully the sound will play too. Here we go.
There's no sound.
There's no sound? There was no sound in that? Did anybody get sound?
No, there's a little like audio thing next to your name, and it's like red with a line through it. That might be it.
Yep, got it. Are you seeing me now?
Yeah. Now we're seeing duplicates of everything. You probably need to set up into a separate window, not a tab.
Well, the mute's on. All right, I guess I should have tested this before I went to do this.
Stop sharing your screen and put the video in its own window and have yourself unmuted. That should work. That's what I had to do when I played my DVD or small group.
All right. Can everybody see the video again?
Yes.
Is that showing the video or the sound?
No audio. Just can see the video.
I can just drop a copy of it in the group me so everyone can watch it afterwards. I'll wait until after senior roasts.
It has on my On mine, it's showing that there's no sound through the audio of the presentation. Dennis, do you know how to change that?
No, I'm not understanding why it's not doing that. When I play a DVD through our small group, I just had it in a separate window and had to leave my mic unmuted, and it worked. At least the guys
Right.
never told me.
Let me try something. Yeah. Let me try something else. I'm going to stop my presentation. I'm going to try this one more time and see if we can try this. Can you guys see the video now?
Yes.
Still no audio, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
Great.
What was that? Was that Star Fox 64?
We still don't have much sound.
All right, guys, you guys will have to go back and watch it again with the audio. I have no idea what is going on with that. I was able to share something the other day, and it worked fine. So I don't know why it wouldn't do it. Get that video off there. There you guys go. All right, we're gonna do. So what we've done in the past is we've had a timer going. And basically when the timer is running on that person, We will have about 5 minutes, and everybody will have their opportunity to share. If you didn't get to, you just put it in the writing. I have written out our seniors that are with us tonight. Tonight we're going to start with Lindsay. Lindsay, do you want to unmute yourself?
I think I'm unmuted.
Yeah, there you go. And I see Wyatt there too. Hi. For all those that don't know, that's Lindsay's fiance. We are going to have a time, the 5 minutes when I say start.
We're still on.
Should be yours different.
Can you guys hear me? Lindsay, can you hear?
Yeah. Sorry, I had my volume down.
Okay. So someone raised their hand who wants to start with Lindsay before I even hit start, that wants to do a roast or toast.
I wish I could see
All right, there's Laura. Laura's got her hand up. Get unmuted.
Okay, ready.
As soon as you guys see Laura go to mute herself, that means she's done. Somebody else pop up there and tell something about Lindsay. Ready? Go.
So Lindsay, I think that you've probably been one of the best mentors that I could have ever asked for. I always would not, like, whenever we had a meeting, I would never meet, or I would never eat like all day, because I knew that you were going to feed me in your apartment no matter what. So, but you were just always there for me, and you were always somebody who I could talk things through with. So thank you.
Hi, Lindsay. One thing I can remember is when we went out to shopping. I went out to get some paintings for my apartment, and I got like a wolf. And you are like, "Oh, that's really scary." And I insisted I was gonna get the wolf, and you decided you were like, "Okay, whatever." I really also enjoyed. After that time, we went to your apartment to get some food. I enjoyed the food. I also enjoyed talking to you. It was really fun.
All right, Lindsay, I appreciate your familiarity with the Southern Indiana vibes. Very interesting place. I thought it was so crazy that you were roommates with one of my friends at the first school you went to. So I was very confused how that could happen, but it was cool. And I also agree with all the food stuff, going over to your apartment and studying for a few hours and then let's take a break. And then it always ended up with eating. So fun times. And for doing laundry at your apartment is nice as well. So.
Lindsay, you're definitely the prettiest redneck I've ever met. And I'm so grateful that we've been able to be friends the past 2 years. You've taught me a lot about the farming community. And I love your heart for missions and your passion for the Lord. And I'm so excited that you get married this summer, whether we get to be there or not.
You'll be there.
Lindsay, I've really appreciated how you've been more than willing to captain the soccer teams, especially when it's been super last minute. We had a team with 12 hours before the time slot closes, you just jump in and create the teams. You've always been one of my go-to people for that, so thank you.
Speaking of soccer, last year I made this team called Los Llanos, and one of the guys had played with us with PCM before. And so one time when we were gonna play launch, he asked me, "Yo, is Lindsay gonna play?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Dang, man, she's the scariest person on that field." And I'm like, "Yup." So you better steer clear, bro. And he was serious. He's like, "Dang, man, she's the scariest." So I mean, but just your passion for the sport and just playing with you it was awesome, man. There are people you could completely trust in the field. And I think that the second thing is when we first got to meet you, it was John, Corey, Carmen, and I when we first got to hang out with you, and we were really worried, John and I, that we might have ruined your view and perception of the PCM just because we were being our plain old selves and you didn't look comfortable at all. And so I was like, dang, I think we ruined it, man. But it turned out okay. So it's been a really fun time just hanging with you and, just spend the time getting to learn and know you a bit more, even with the Spaniards too and the whole thing. It's been a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Going off of sports, it was intense to play against you in water polo, if you remember that. Because I switched out right at the end as goalie, and then you were coming up with the ball, and it was like, oh, good God, what am I going to do? But it was so much fun.
Perfect.
Lindsay, I really appreciate everything you've done for our ministry. One of my first memories of you is our missions team is getting ready to have a missions night. And they're like, well, Lindsay's going to present. And I'm like, who's Lindsay? And they're like, oh, she's went on missions. And I'm like, but how do we know Lindsay? Like, where did she come from? And you came back from your mission trip in dreads. And yes, I read you like what I thought you were. And it was nothing what you were. You just came from having your dreads in your hair. I didn't know what was going on with you. And I thought, why are we letting her share? Like, what is going on? And yet it was amazing just to hear your love for the Lord and what you had experienced. And from that day forward, you just like were there serving. And I thought that was it was really cool to see. And so we really do appreciate you being one of our interns and appreciate you getting Wyatt to come with us to Beach Reach and getting to know you guys together too. So thank you for everything that you've given back to our ministry too. All right. We've got, did you want to say anything, Lindsay?
I don't have a lot of words, but just that I miss you guys and thank you for the encouraging remarks.
All right. Next up is Gorgeous Grant. For those that don't know that term, that was one of the nicknames he had because of a game we played. And Miranda wasn't there, so he thought he had to be all cute and everything and make some neat name out of his G for Grant. So do I have someone, do I have somebody that wants to start us off with Grant? Oh, Lindsay's going to start us off. Good point. All right, go for it.
Okay, G Rant. I kind of wrote this in the senior roast thing, but I really enjoyed our farming talks. It's kind of nice talking to somebody up at Purdue about corn and beans and the dirt and the tractors and all that kind of stuff. So I just really enjoy those conversations, and it makes me feel like I'm back home.
Well, you're welcome.
Grant, my first memory of you was accidentally attending the first Connect team meeting of my freshman year. And like you said a year later, I couldn't get rid of you after that because I've never served on a team without you at launch. And I'm really grateful for all of the worship times that we've done and all of the effort you put into worship team and Connect team and everything you do as you serve.
Thanks, Jen.
Grant, I'm sure everyone who went to Beach Reach last year remembers your packing up tutorial and all the rules and guidelines you had for us. That was really funny and really unforgettable. And same thing goes for every worship session you're in.
Thanks, Esteban.
This is not really a roast, but Grant, when are you going to sing for us? We've been waiting for years.
Just keep waiting, Daniel.
One of my favorite launch memories ever still is the Beach Reach packing. Yeah, it's monumental and it will carry on. It has to. Someone else has to kind of step up and take your place, which is sad, but you're leaving us, I guess. So that was hilarious. And just all the memes that have been able to come about after that, pretty great. So
memes.
Thank you for, yeah, there are memes of you. Don't you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're great. They're classic. Thanks for sacrificing yourself.
Thanks. Anytime.
Grant, in the 4 years or so that we've known each other, we've had a lot of weird and funny memories. But I really appreciate each and every one of them. I won't go into detail for all of them because we'll save everybody else's ears. But in particular, I just want to point out that one, Grant has worked hard for the honeymoon bod you see before you right now, 5:30 in the morning. And so just this is the example of hard work and dedication that you guys want to strive towards. You underclassmen, look to Grant as a role model to build that honeymoon bod. You can see Miranda is very excited about it right now. And then what else? Oh, for the 135 pounds right there, he is one of the most feisty wrestlers that you will ever encounter. And just all around great guys. Don't play Dutch Blitz with him though, because he's ruthless.
You'll lose. Yeah.
Also, Grant, my B-stud bud for all 3.5 years, I guess, since I left. But thankful for your friendship and the many laughs, also keeping me sane in my time in college, as well as introducing me to Miranda, who I've been able to build a friendship with over these past few years and been able to walk through part of our engagement together, which has been such a gift. So we love you both. We're sad that we'll be moving far away.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
I was just going to say, I remember meeting Grant at Elston, I think the first 1 or 2 weeks before classes or the first week or whatever. He was so quiet. And yet I have seen him grow in his maturity as a Christian, as a leader. You did a wonderful job this year with worship, and you're very dependable and trustworthy, and you're a hard worker, and I really appreciate that about you.
Thanks, Judy.
I remember the first time you met with me, Grant, and seeing how I could get involved with PCM, but even though you were like 30 minutes late to our meeting, I stuck around, and here I am now. So, always remember that.
Yeah, appreciate you waiting, Jackson. Glad we got to meet there.
Grant, we really do appreciate all the hard work. And Miranda, we are grateful to have got to know you along the way too. I know that you guys, we are excited for you and your future. And Grant, I recall the time of meeting you under the light pole on Waldron Street when you were coming out of BGR. And so that I didn't expect you to be the leader that you've become today. And I think it's really neat to see that and to see how much you thought you put into it, and how much energy, and how you are there for people. And there's a lot more that could be said tonight through everybody, especially from all the guys in that live with you. I know there's plenty of stories that probably shouldn't be shared, or even pictures of you with dollar bills in your shirt. I don't know what that was, but
Ow.
I can hear you.
I know.
And it's fun to see you get embarrassed too. But also just the one who has really become a real true leader, that has taken on that leadership role, like and serving for 3 years on the leadership it's just really cool to see that, and to see you finish strong. Is there anything that you want to say back, Grant?
I just want to say thanks to staff for just all you guys have done for me, for the ministry. And then just thank you to everyone that I've served on the leadership team with. Just thank you for being so great to serve with, each and every one of you, and the rest of you at the ministry. It's just been a joy to be around. So just thank you guys for the great 4 years.
All right, that wasn't a fake me just going, oh, that's sad. That was me wiping away a tear, Grant. Okay, so don't get me crying too much. Okay. Thank you again. We're gonna move to Daniel. Look at that big smile he got when I said his name. He's just waiting to see what's going to happen, who's going to say what. That's what I'm interested to hear too.
No, I was looking at Mr. Peng. The dude looked so happy. I was like, it's a pleasure, bro.
Who wants to be the first to go? Do I have anybody first? Really, nobody wants to go?
I'll do it. I'll go.
All right, go.
So, Daniel, my first memory of living with you, not just of you, but living with you earlier this year, was when we all went shopping together, and I bought a gallon of olive oil to use, throughout the year. All of us could share it. And the whole thing was gone in about a week because you used all of it in making I don't know if it was a soup or a stew, but every last drop of it was gone. And then a bowl of like half a gallon of olive oil was sitting on the counter for like 2 weeks after that. You kept saying you were going to use it, and then you just threw it away.
Thanks. That wasn't supposed to come out. Thanks.
I was just going to say Daniel's smile and his laughter bring me joy. And I look forward to seeing him every time and giving him a big hug. He always gives me a big hug. And our conversations about music and worship were precious to me. So I will miss you.
Same. Thank you.
I remember whenever you were playing on the cajon, whenever you were playing, we had to turn everything up because you just go to town, hit as hard as you can. There's no microphones on it, but we got to turn all the other instruments and all the vocalists up in order to keep up with Daniel. And then especially during practice, I'm up in my office and all I hear is this thud going on in below my feet because you're playing so hard. But it was great to see your joy and share your joy in worship with all of us. And that's just a small segment, but gonna miss
Thank you. And you're welcome for the sound.
My memory was when I got introduced to you for the first time, and you had a completely different accent. He sounded so British. In my mind, I was like, "Are you sure this guy is Nigerian?" Then when he started talking to me, his English flipped 180, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what I was talking about."
So I would do it. Thank you.
Kind of going on that, first time I met you, not just living with you, but actually met you, I thought you were faking the accent for like 2 weeks. And then finally I asked Corey before he graduated, I was like, why doesn't guy always talk in an accent? And Corey just looked at me and was like, dude, that's just how he talks.
I didn't know that, actually.
Daniel, I am thankful for the years that we had in college together. And I know the first few years we bantered a lot, but getting to lead international team with you was awesome. Just getting to lead alongside you and see the leader that you are, as well as being able to pass the team off to you. I felt like international team was a little bit of my baby, but it felt well protected and like you would carry it on well. And you definitely have in the semester that I've been gone. So I'm super thankful for that time and being able to lead with you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And Daniel, I've really enjoyed our time together, whatever it is. And I talked a little bit about it previously with you, but just sports and the games. One of the best memories I think I have with you is when we went to Chicago. I got a memory popped up on my Facebook feed. It was 2 years ago this past weekend. And just getting to see a different side of you there. And you're a jokester, but you're so friendly and encouraging and very thoughtful. And so I really appreciate your friendship and living with you this past year.
Thanks a lot, man.
Hello, Daniel.
Oh, Hannah, you could talk first.
Sorry. I don't know how I'm gonna go into launch without the expectation of being roasted for how I talk or how I stand every single time I go in. But I think we've had a lot of good memories over the years in college. And one of my first memories of you is me trying to pick you up at Hillenbrand to take you to church. And you were, of course, about 15 minutes later than when we had planned to meet. And all you had said when I asked if you were still coming, I said cool beans, and you said, sounds gross.
Never change, Hannah. Thank you.
Speaking of being late, I remember one time Daniel was supposed to take me and Catherine to Walmart, and you were half an hour late or an hour late, and I can't remember. But then when you showed up, we asked why, and you said you just woke up, but it was already past the time we were supposed to meet. But like what I wanted to say was that you were a great leader in international team. You're always so funny, and I want to apologize for being late a lot of time to the meetings.
You see, we're both guilty. Thanks.
That's so typical of Daniel. He's always late. Even when he picked me up, he was like half an hour late, and I scolded him.
Agree. Totally agree.
Mr. Bang, come on, my side, bro.
Nah. Actually, it's my turn to roast. I've been waiting this moment for the whole year, bro. I'm gonna roast Danielle and Daniel at the same time.
Bring it.
It's my time. Alright, only for today. I'm gonna admit you're Daniel, but starting from tomorrow, bro, you're out. And then I guess I'm gonna live with your spirit and name.
Thanks. Good luck with that.
All right, Daniel. I got a story for everyone about you. We had a conversation just recently, I think it was this week or just last week, about how you could hear me snoring in the other room. Even through the wall, you could hear me. And I know I snore, well aware, but you're making comments about it. Yesterday morning, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to the sound of I don't know what. Sounds very strange. When I'm silent and I listen, it's coming from Daniel's room. Do you know what Daniel's doing? He's snoring. Very loudly. You got on me, bro. You're snoring so loud.
Fake news, bro. Not accurate. No source.
But thank you for being on worship team, playing along. It's always a joy to have you on the team. As Dennis said, you're always just helping drive the team. Appreciate it. Appreciate your friendship. So thanks, Daniel.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Any last words, Daniel, from you? I mean, I have lots of stories to say about you, but I do love you calling me Mr. Beck. It makes me feel old, but that is one of the things and the joy of having you for my daughters calling you their brother and you calling my wife mom. You are a part of our family, and we are going to miss you. And yet it's been great just to see you mature. Having thought when you got here, I felt like you thought you knew everything and that your spiritual walk was perfect and you didn't need any help, to where now you have really grown and matured and applied and started using the things that you already knew, but you've started learning how to use them even more on your own without your family there, and doing that. And it's been really cool. And to see you being able to reach out to a lot of people, seeing you bring a lot of different people. The World Cup was one of those that was really fun to watch you, to be able to see your excitement come out and trying something new with our soccer. And even though it didn't go as we planned, you put it out there, and it was really cool to see you really bring a lot of other people. So thank you. Anything you have to say?
Anyone who knows me knows I'll have a lot of words to say goodbye. But I would not do that this time. I'm just gonna say it's been a real pleasure getting to know each and every single one of you and just spending the time. Every single relationship I have and time I spend with the person is always purposeful because you learn a lot about them. You get a bit of their life in just that brief moment. And so it's been a pleasure getting to know each and every single one of you. Unique, beautiful, and it's been great. And I'll see you around. That's it.
Right. Thank you. All right, Danielle.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Right. You've been waiting for this night for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes.
But not really.
No. I hate when people say like embarrassing things about me. So.
All right, you hear that, guys? That means we got to get a lot of embarrassing things said tonight on Danielle. So, who wants to start us off with Danielle?
All right, so I'm gonna take my turn to make you cry. So back when I first started coming around to the PCM, even though I told my story already of Aaron almost scaring me off with the hippie headband, I wanted to cover you because you were the one who kept on being super friendly to the random introvert in the corner. So you were simultaneously my worst nightmare, but also the person that kept me coming back to the PCM for a while there.
Aw, thank you, Zenfa.
You're also a little ball of peer pressure that made me do a lot of things I would have never done, so thanks.
Danielle, I appreciate your constant support at all the intramural games. It's always nice knowing that there's at least one person watching us at like every single game and taking pictures and everything. So we really appreciate that.
Aw, thank you, Lindsay.
Danielle, this kind of piggybacks on what Sam was talking about, but and kind of what I was talking about in the launch viewpoint this week. But when I first came to the PCM, I was Swan's little sister, and I was super scared that everybody was going to just treat me like Swan's little sister, and that people were only going to be nice to me because I'm Swan's little sister. But every time that I came to a TNT, to a Sunday supper, to anything, like, you were sitting right next to me. You would like pull me away from Rachel to talk to me and make me feel welcome. So you were definitely one of the people that had me here freshman year.
Oh, thank you, Laura. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to live with you next year.
So earlier this year, Danielle and I were doing this thing because we like spent a lot of time together, and we would do this thing where like if we were standing more than 5 feet apart, we would be like, "Oh no, I miss you," and like I think we might have predicted this. So that really stinks. But Danielle's just been a really, really constant friend for me through the last couple of years that I've known her, and I feel like I can tell her any problem that I'm having or anything that's going on in my life, and she's just always 100% willing to drop whatever she's doing and help anybody that she can in any way that she can, and I really admire that. And like I was thinking to myself just a minute ago, is there anything Danielle can't do? And yeah, she can't park. That's it.
Danielle, my favorite memories with you include like being at Beach Reach and also like helping you move in earlier this summer. It was really fun, and you've really just been such a great example for me in the ministry, and you really helped me stay connected, and you're such a good friend, and I'm really glad to have you in my life.
Aw, thank you, Esteban.
Danielle, I remember when I walked up to you in the PCM and you broke down. I was actually scared because I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing to you. I didn't know how to handle that situation. And when I went home, I kept worrying. I had to call you to make sure that you're okay. And one more thing is doing the parents' night out. I love watching you like talk to the kids. I'm like, I admire that because I don't know how to deal with kids sometimes. So I'm like, I just watch you do it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take some tips and like talk to the kids the same way you're doing. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Danielle? Oh, I don't know if you can hear me. Is my mic on?
I can hear you. Oh, now it's off. It's not on anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say I'm so glad I have met you this year. I enjoyed the time we always spent together having Starbucks and tea. I also really enjoyed the time we always go to Hobby Lobby to buy crafts and spending way too much time there than the time we were supposed to be.
Danielle, I was thinking about this earlier this week, that the first time you and I talked was a good like 6 months before we started at Purdue via Facebook. I think you commented on the post that I had in the class of 2020 Facebook page. And I would like to apologize if I haven't already for not responding to that for 4 months until I saw it in August, or I saw it way later. But I'm glad we were able to meet up and get dinner at Earhart that night. And then I'm glad that you decided to follow a random stranger to TNT, because I can't imagine the 4 years of college without you, and watching you grow over the past 4 years. And just, I'm not strong with evangelizing or bringing people around, but I'm glad that I brought you because you've transformed this ministry into so much more than what it would be without you.
Oh, thank you, Jacob. I've got more to say, but I'll wait for your time to tell you all that.
I'm not excited for any of the seniors to be gone, but I'm obviously very sad. But I'm just very excited that you're still going to be here and you'll still be around and you'll be able to come participate because you do so much and it's so appreciated. And there's so many things that so many people don't know that you do that you just get done. So it's always good to know that things are in good hands. You know what you're doing and you are always trying to help someone. And I really appreciated on my birthday after taking 2 finals, and it was just not a fun day, going to eat with you and Carolyn and going to Starbucks and just doing something fun. So you always made the little things special, and just no matter what it was, even over the summer when we were both in different cities and experiencing difficult things, you were always positive and fun. So very thankful for you.
Thank you, Becca.
Danielle, I think a real theme of this roast is that you're very good at positive peer pressure. And so the first thing I remember about you is that we were at a random dorm dinner together and you said, there's a Connect team meeting. Aren't you going? And I was like, what? What's the Connect team? And you said, oh yeah, let's go together. And so we went to the Connect team meeting together, and that led to 3 years of Connect team for me. So I want to thank you for all of the positive influence you've had in my life with your skills in evangelism. I love to see you talk to people about Jesus, and you've really influenced me in that way.
Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, I agree with the whole positive peer pressure thing. Several times you have pushed me to talk to people and like reach out and stuff. And then also I remember a lot like from this year was like you just like doing like kind of funny things like sledding down the PCM driveway in a raft or a trip class.
I have a couple of fun stories from being roommates. One of them was before she roomed with me, she had a roommate that traumatized her with glitter. Not intentionally, but she's still traumatized. So one of the rules of being roommates together was there couldn't be any glitter. But on top of that, there was one time when we were in Windsor in the basement and we were playing around with the jukebox down there. And like every other song, it would play Potential Breakup by like AJ and Allie or something like that. And then anytime that she was struggling with her like motivation to do something, I could threaten to play that song and she'd be like, no, I'm doing it. So I'm really looking forward to you coming back and being my roommate still for the rest of the summer. You better, because this is a very quiet apartment without you. So I'll tell you more stories then, but it's been awesome knowing you.
Danielle, thank you for all the service. I remember the first night that you walked up with Jacob, and we're not going to talk about your ex-boyfriend having the same name as me, and but it has been incredible to see your spiritual growth. To see somebody that had an interest, I would say that there was an interest of having a spiritual walk, but man, have I seen it just grow and mature, and it's just been real exciting to see that, and excited to see what God's going to do next year with you being our intern, and just the future of what God's doing in your life. And even if we have arguments of whether bowling's a sport or not, I mean, that's okay. So, so do you have anything to say?
I love you guys and I miss you, and I can't wait to see most of you next year. And I'm excited for those of you guys, those of us who are graduating for to see where you guys go and what God does with your lives. So thank you for a great 4 years, and we'll shoot for one more.
All right, we're going to go on to Wassam. There, her head goes down. Is she asleep? Oh, wait a second. All right, who wants to be first? Oh,
I'll
Carolyn.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Okay. So Watson told that story about Danielle and how she like got her to focus on things. She had a similar effect on me where I would be working on something, except I wasn't working on it, and I would just keep talking. And she would be like, Carolyn, you need to work on the thing. And I'd be like, but wait, I have this very interesting thing to tell you. I learned a fun fact about Belgium. And she'd be like, no, Carolyn, I don't want to hear about Belgium. Keep working. I'd be like, okay, I got this. And then I would. But she did a very good job of like helping me to focus on things. And I always really appreciate that. And I'll never forget pulling that overnight at the PCM, just being there the whole time and being like, and both like individually struggling with stuff, but also like supporting each other in that. And I really appreciated that. I like low-key miss being in mentorship meetings together because you had a really big impact on me during that, even if you don't think that you did. You definitely did. And I'm going to miss you so much.
I'm going to miss you too.
Awesome. Ben kind of joked about it when he asked if you were sleeping, but I do want to make the point. I remember freshman year, we had a montage of sleeping at the PCM, and I'm pretty sure I had as many pictures and videos of you over the past 4 years sleeping at the PCM than everybody else combined. And a lot of it is because you work so hard, and you do so well. And so I am thankful for your friendship for the past 4 years. I remember we met early on, and Grant, you and I were some of the first freshmen that got plugged in pretty consistently and playing Pong and stuff like that. A lot of good, sweet memories. So good luck with all your future endeavors. I'll miss you.
And Wassam, I'm super thankful to have had you as a teammate in P&O for a long time and dealing with the craziness of the older girls, being able to embrace that with you and not be driven insane.
They were crazy.
On that note, though, I mean, with just being tired, I always had genuine joy when I came in and you were playing a game on your laptop or something, because I felt like you're probably at peace and you were free, because you always, whenever you had work, you were always on it, and you always ended up looking so haggard. And I generally used to feel bad for you, because I'm like, man, if this is hard work, man, it's painful type of thing. But so when I came in and I saw you playing the Minecraft or whatever, I was genuinely excited for you, almost as if like she's winning, she's doing great. But I think you are. I think you have. It's been a real pleasure. I've a very strong memory of when I first went to my first retreat, our first retreat, I think. And you were reading on your phone, and so you were like the first few people I got to have a conversation with on, your interest in reading. I'm not sure if it's comics or manga.
Both.
Probably both. And it was just fun to get to learn that about you and share that. And so it was and we got to be in the first ride together on Beach Reach, so that was a time too. So, but it's been a real pleasure, Wassam. Honestly, just a delight seeing you around and screaming your last name. Like
I can't even hit that high of a pitch.
I know, right? It's impressive, but it's been great, Wassam. We'll miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too. It's been awesome.
So, sorry, you can go.
Thanks, Sam. Wassam, you were also a part of my first impression of PCM. So I didn't meet you at my very first thing, but almost immediately after coming, I went to the camping trip, and you were the person who drove me there. And I didn't know anybody who was going on the trip, because the people who had talked me into going, I don't believe went on the trip. But it was super cool getting to ride down with you. And it was like such a small thing, but you were just like super relaxed and confident driving and like talking and getting to know me at the same time. And Danielle was there also, shout out. But it was like, okay, she's not scared of this trip. I don't have to be either. And then I've told you this before, but at fall retreat, my freshman year, I had just broken my leg like 2 days before. And I was like, I guess I'll go anyway on crutches because I already paid for it. And so I ended up being like super tired most of that time because it's hard to do the running games on crutches. But there was one morning at breakfast where I was, very tired and just kind of like out of it. and you sat by me, and you were like just in a super good mood. You were talking to me and just like having a great time. And then you found a piece of paper and some crayons, and you were like, I'm gonna draw a portrait of you. And I still have that portrait of me that you drew at like 8 a.m. in the middle of the woods. Anyway, thank you for all of the service you've done and the way that you were super confident and super open and just down to earth and just such a great person to talk to about all of life's wild issues. But I will miss you a lot.
I'll miss you too. It's been really awesome getting to know you, Hannah.
All right. So, Wassim, we became friends really fast because we are very similar people and have a lot of the same interests and stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. But I really want to quickly point out how terribly similar our personalities are, because we went for about half a year without ever realizing the other one was in PCM. And we went our entire school year, like our entire high school career, with the same friends, not knowing the other person even by name.
Somehow.
Exactly. We're both, you're very intelligent, and we're both very unattentive.
Agreed.
So that's perfectly fine. I'll miss you, but also you can't run from me because I have your Steam account.
All right.
Awesome. So being friends with you is really one of the best things because it's so easy to be so many different things with you. Like you can be having fun playing video games, or you can be super serious and like doing schoolwork together. And you'll obviously like have like a eureka moment like before anybody else does. Or you can be really vulnerable with you and know that you'll understand. And I'm just really glad that we all have a friend like you in our lives, because who else is there to know as much about Minecraft as you do? And who else is there to, you know, really put your trust into like we have with you? And it's just been so amazing being your friend, and I'm sure everyone else feels the same way. And it's not over. We're still friends. Don't worry. We're going to miss you.
I miss you too. Hey, I'm here for a summer. I'm here for the rest of the summer.
Hi, Wassim. I am so glad that you are the first roommate that I've had in college that I have loved being roommates with. Thank you. Thank you for being the first sane roommate I've had.
Likewise.
Yes. My absolute favorite memory is last year when we were living in Windsor, and it was girls' night, and I had come back to get some stuff and change into sweatpants and everything. And I was really worried about talking to the girls because, you know, both of us are tomboys. We've both had a lot of guy friends in our lives. And I look at you and I say, Wassim, I don't know how to talk to girls. And you look without missing a beat and say, I don't know either. What do we do? As we're both getting ready to go to girls' night. But I am so glad that you were one of the first girls I connected with at PCM. And I am so excited for you to start your job in Chicago. And I'm so, so, so proud of you for getting your dream job. I love you.
I love you too. Aww. Now come back to the apartment, darn it.
I'm trying.
Hey, Wassim. I remember when we bowled for our first game, I was very, very bad. I was getting like 2s and 5s or nothing. And she taught me some good tricks on how to bowl. Then the next time we had a game, I was doing super well. And it was so fun. It was so fun the time we got like 10. We're like, yes, we're getting it. And we're like jumping so high and laughing so bad. And I really, really miss you. And also, I remember the time you drove me home. I don't know, we were talking about random stuff. I can't remember specifically, but I remember I was talking about just random stuff. And we're like, I was really enjoying the conversation.
No, I enjoyed the times that I got a chance to take you home because I never really got a chance to talk with you outside of that. So that was always really cool. And I still need to try Nigerian ramen. I still need to try it.
Awesome. I don't have the story to tell, like meeting Grant under a light pole. I don't remember my first time meeting you. I remember you just always being there. And that it's so bizarre to me because I remember like this first interaction, and yet I remember you always being around. And it's just, I joke about the sleeping. There were times, I think you're a lot better now. I think you've got where you are much better at time management. And yet I've enjoyed seeing your growth. The one thing that you said to me this past year, it was something about beach reach, and you said, "No, I did that once. I'm not cut out to do that." And I really believe that you sell yourself short. There, you have relationships, and you have the ability to communicate, and you do it. I know that you are more of an introvert, but I know that you have that people person, and you love people. You genuinely love people, and don't sell yourself short. You have the ability to be the hands and feet to others and the mouth to share with others. And I know that you will be able to do that as you go on too. And I thank you for all that you've done, all the fun things, all the serving times, and just having you a part of our ministry. So thank you. Anything you have to say?
I think I actually do remember, if not the first time we met, one of the first times, because Mac brought me before call out, before any of that, right at the beginning of the school year. And this is before Death by Chocolate. And you all are having like I still have the shirt from it, the neon yellow, like you were handing out hot dogs and things on Memorial Lawn. And I didn't know anything about the PCM. I had been taken there like once by Mac. And I think it was you just gave me a stack of like cards and was like, go hand these out to people. And I was just like, wait, what am I doing?
That is exactly right. And now I remember that you were a freshman and you jumped right into an event that we were doing. And that's why you did things that upperclassmen would do, because most freshmen didn't jump into that event.
I didn't have a choice.
Persuasion. And so thank you for everything. Anything else we want to say?
But I'm really gonna miss all you guys. I never felt like I spent enough time at the PCM. Some people would definitely contest that, but I'm really gonna miss you guys. Thank you so much for everything.
And now you got us all crying. Thank you. Let's move on to our last contestant. Is Nick still here?
Nick's phone battery died.
Oh, man. Okay, so Jacob. You there, Jacob?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. So who wants to be the first? All right, go Danielle.
All right, so Jacob already said like how I got to launch, PCM back then. Yeah, so who else trusts a random stranger to go to this random house I've never been to before but me? But here I am, and I am so thankful that you introduced me to PCM because I know my life would be completely different had you not. I'm so glad that God put put us in each other's paths, and I am so excited to see where God is taking you, and I'm so excited for you and Emily to get married. Like, I've been waiting for this for so long, and I'm so excited for you guys.
Thanks, Danielle.
Jacob, like you said, we've known each other since freshman year, which is crazy, honestly, because I feel like I should have way more stories about you than I do. But I feel like the biggest impression that you've left on me is at some random point during the semester, you're inevitably going to get hurt. Not hurt with a little h, hurt with a big H, and come in with a cast or a neck brace. And I'm going to have to figure out what happened to you. But no, it's been super awesome just getting to know you more over the past few years. Serving on missions team has been really cool. You always did such a good job of organizing the parking and getting the cars to like park perpendicular to the driveway. That was like my favorite time because it was so cool. But anyways, it's been awesome, and just good luck moving forward to you and Emily both.
Thank you, Awesome.
I think my favorite memory of Jacob is like we went to a game night at the Swain's house, and William was teaching us how to play a game, which I didn't end up playing. I don't know why, but he said, so basically the way this game works is last man standing wins. And Jacob and I both stood up, and then we just like stared at each other for a while, like who's going to sit down first. And we spent like most of the time refusing to sit down because we wanted to win. And that was pretty funny. And then eventually we called a truce, except we had different ideas of what a truce meant, because I thought we were going to stand up again later and it would continue, but whatever. I think it's a tie. But yeah, that was just really funny, and I just really appreciate all the just the leadership that you've brought to the PCM, and how you're always really encouraging to people and make people feel welcome.
Thanks, Carolyn.
So, ever since way back, that was like a year ago, last beach reach that I was on, and you were one of my prayer partners, Jacob. I'm pretty sure, right? I'm remembering this correctly. Yes. All right. Ever since then, like, I kind of like got a better understanding of how to basically like talk with God through our like interactions then. And ever since then, I've been been operating on a like, this is a Christ follower, so how can I like act more like him to be more like Christ? The only thing that I have not like so far made a real step towards is working out more. But you know, I might just have to steal that too. You're a great role model. I'll miss you. I'm gonna have to set up like a camera network to stalk you or something.
I'll miss you too, Sam. Thank you.
I don't ever remember really like deciding to join missions. I just kind of feel like I appeared there, and I was just really like amazed by how committed you were for meeting us in your like kitchen, you know, at home in Texas for the first semester, and you would always still try to participate and do everything. And I just thought that was incredible, and that's still something that I remember. I'm really excited that you kind of were part of the group that got me really interested in missions, and I don't think without joining that team I wouldn't have gone to Boston all summer, and I wouldn't have come up to lead this team soon. So I'm really excited, and I'm thankful for that. And also one of my favorite things from Beach Reach last year was when it was Carmen and I, and it was you were with us, and we just met I think his name was Kyle, at the bowling alley and talked for like 3.5 hours. It was amazing, and it's just so encouraging and inspiring, and I still feel good from that time, and it just makes me happy. So it was really fun, and I'm glad you were there and just kind of made the conversation go along. So we'll miss you.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Jacob, a little over a year ago, Hannah and I were in Beach Reach and talking about how we both wanted to maybe be interns. And we were like, but who could possibly be a third? Who could possibly join the Hannahs and not be outdone by us, or not be like, just not feel like they're connecting with us? Like, we don't want like a bad dynamic, because we're just such a great team here. And I'm really glad that it ended up being you, because it was super fun. And just like a lot of chaos. I've just scrolled through the Just the Winterns group chat, and there's a lot of comments of gross things we found while cleaning the house, or ways that maybe we could sabotage each other's presentations, such as unplugging the video camera, such details. And just like other things that it was like, we found I'm really glad that we had such a great team because we found a lot of ways to have fun with things that weren't necessarily fun. And so thank you for being that added dynamic to the Hannahs. One keynote of this, is that the right word? No, but was getting to have the intern handshake that really made my entire year. I love handshakes. Oh. Anyway, they just did it. I was very excited. Anywho, yes, it was great being an intern with you. I will miss you.
It was great being an intern with you. And I'll tell you, I was scared when I found out you two were the other two interns. I remember telling Emily that I didn't think I could do it or keep up with you two. But I'm glad how it all worked out. And you guys are great interns for life.
So the first time that we actually got to talk was when I was leaving the 507 because I had to go to McCutcheon Garage to get my car and drive it back. And then you were like, "Oh, I'll come with." And my first impression was that you were kind of weird because that's not something that someone volunteers to do. But during that time, we both got to share a short version of our testimonies, and then that just kind of kicked it all off. And then it's crazy to think that that was only like 2 years and a couple months ago because you were on your co-op. But then now today, I mean, you've been one of the best friends that I've ever had, and I'm super pumped to be one of the groomsmen at your wedding and just see you go into the future with Emily. But I love you, man, and I'm grateful for you.
Love you too, Aaron.
Jacob, there are many good stories that I could tell of us running around a graveyard in the middle of the night with masks on during Halloween. There's us attempting our honeymoon bods in the co-rec workout gym at 5:30, trying to psych ourselves up to do hip thrust workouts and then hang out. You still need to do yours. But I just appreciate all the conversations that we've had, just getting to go through engagement together, getting to adventure through life in the same stage together and being roommates and being on leadership together. You're very stubborn, but it's so nice when you're on my side. When you're not, it sucks. But when you are, it's awesome. Appreciate you and just all that you've done for the ministry and just being such a good leader and just being a good example for others. So I just think, just thanks for being a good friend. I'll miss you and Emily.
You too. Love you, man.
Yeah, man, just going off that, your commitment to the ministry man, I respect it. I admire it, man. Honestly, there was a lot to it that I was like, I see it and I'm like, there's a lot you can learn from it, just the way you went about things and then your passion for the guys. And I've said a couple of times, but it's true, man. You just have your whole heart on the plate for the entire ministry and just the people in it. And it was amazing to see. I'll never forget when we all moved in and we're all really hyped, the vision for what hanging out with the guys would be like and what we're going to do with the girls was right across and things were perfect, like pictures. And then these two guys, because they're getting married, decided, hey, let's do workouts. And I'm like, I love workouts. That's awesome. Yeah. We'll go to the court together. I'm like, yeah, at 5. And then I'm like, okay, see, that's wild. And it's funny because they tried to convince me to go a couple of times. I finally decided to go, and then all of them backed out on the time of going out to work out at 5. I woke up for this. But it's been really fun. It's been a great time just getting to just know you and then talk to you on certain fronts. And we've had a lot more, I think, experiences, and I think even we remember just because, we got to hang out with John, Emily, Katie, and the Chicago trip and just a lot of fun time. So I still feel like I'm going to see you around. So But I'll miss you, bro. Take care.
Thanks, man. Love you.
Same here, bro.
Jacob, I really loved being an intern with you this year. I think you're at least my second favorite coworker. And so I think thinking back about it, we never actually met because my freshman year, yet I was like, who is this man? He just walked in off of the street. But then we became friends eventually. And recently I found a video on my phone that you took of me and Hannah making mac and cheese our freshman year at Beach Reach. And I still haven't brought myself to watch it because it's very embarrassing, but I think it was a good preview of the Wintern dynamics to come.
I don't even remember that. You'll need to send it to me.
Jacob, we are so thankful for everything that you've done. Some of the memories that others have shared of you putting time in, even when you were on co-op. We really do appreciate everything. You and I have had our talks. And our cries together. And it's just been great to have you, to see you grow and mature into the man that you are today. And look forward to seeing what God does with you into the future. And I love the video because it just is a flashback to your freshman year. And I think that Wassam hit it on the head. Is Emily better have a huge policy, life insurance policy, and have a huge insurance policy so that if something does happen, she's covered. So anything you want to say?
Yeah, I love you guys. I was telling Emily earlier today that, since my freshman year, I've been looking forward to this night, not because I want to be gone, but because I knew that this was my home in college, and that I was looking forward to this and sharing these moments with you guys more than walking across at Elliott, because these are the people that I walked through college with. You guys are my family, and I really love you guys. I'm going to miss you. Sometimes I wish we weren't moving so far away because it's going to be hard to come back and visit. But Emily's family's here, so I guess we'll have that excuse. But yeah, keep it going. Love you guys.
All right, we've got one last one. Nick is back.
Yeah, my phone died, but I got a charger now.
All right, who wants to start us off with Nick?
Hello.
Go.
Oh wait, is somebody talking?
Yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
Okay. You probably don't remember this, but I remember the beard, okay, of all things. But I was next to the co-rack at the Death by Chocolate thing, and I think you handed me that card to the Death by Chocolate. And I just want to say thank you for welcoming me to the PCM and to the family. Like, it means everything to me. So, yeah.
I got you, girl. Don't worry.
All right. So you've been in the missions team, I think, from the beginning. Well, from my beginning as well. And that was kind of fun when it was so small and it was just, oh, we have to share all these responsibilities. It'll be good. So you were a good worker, and it was always good to know because you could always go talk to all the businesses and convince people to give us stuff for the auction. You're really good at that. So that'll be something we miss a lot. And I always found it fun to hear about the different careers that you thought about going after. And when you decided to finally settle down on one, it's really cool to see the opportunities that have been opened up for you. So I'm excited and hope you end up with one that you like. So keep working hard.
Do my best.
Bouncing off that real quick. Nick, you took the auction to a new level this year, and just your commitment to get donors. I'm bummed that we weren't able to have it as planned, but it'll still happen, just at a later date. And so I just appreciate your commitment to that. And then also about the number of majors and careers. You've had more majors since I've known you than I've had places that I've lived, which says a lot because I was a co-op student, so I moved back and forth every like 4 months. But what I appreciate, it's a little bit of a roast, but what I appreciate in that is that you chase after what you're gonna enjoy doing, and you're really passionate about finding what God's called you to do. And that's something I can learn from you and have learned a little bit from you, is that to trust the Lord and to follow where He's leading you, and not to worry about necessarily all the logistics behind it all the times. So.
No words, man. No words.
One of my favorite parts of my freshman year was all the late night Chick-fil-A runs we had. Probably who knows how much pounds of chicken nuggets we eaten over the past couple months. And even the midday runs, I remember one time it was like an hour and a half before one of my like big exams. We just decided to drop everything and go Chick-fil-A. So, and definitely got me through the exam. It's been a fun time. I hope you're there next year. Unless you have other super big plans at college. But I love having you around.
Thanks, buddy.
Chick-fil-A and Starbucks, bro. Man, you need help. But for real though, dude, we have so many experiences. The one that comes to mind that like to this day I still don't understand is we had this whole African Students Association event going on, and I put it in the group trying to get people to show up, and Nikki, indicates that he's interested. So we all dress up, and if anyone has ever been to an African Student Association event, or like an African event at all, you know that we show up looking like 5-star suits, blazers, polished ties, like you're looking great. You want to slay, quote unquote. But Nick decides that he's gonna come in track pants and slip-ons or sliders, and I tell him, Nick, I don't think you're really gonna like the outfit you've chosen when you get there. And he's like, nah, it's fine. I got my sweater on, so I'm official. I said, okay. And then we get to the event, and he's literally the only guy, and yet everyone just staring like, who the heck is this dude? And we had to take a picture with him. That was the painful part, but it was a fun experience. It was definitely a wild time. And Nikki was one of those that we share so much, and so music was another thing. And so just getting to have that with him. I used to rap a lot, for those who didn't know, and I sang a lot too back in middle and high school, and I could never really do that, especially the rapping sound, unless I was with Nikki, because he was down with the beat and the music and how the whole thing worked. And I just really loved getting to do that with him. It was one of my more favorite times at the PCM when I was trying to do a leisure, just chill back, because he was always down anytime, any day, any moment, just as much for the Starbucks and the Chick-fil-A run. So I'll miss you, bro, but we're definitely going to be in touch. So yeah.
Gonna sound like a broken record, but yeah, Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. And I love that you always you could literally have 2 Starbucks drinks that were both yours in your hand, and you'd be like, you want to go to Starbucks? And I just really miss that, and all the Chick-fil-A runs and deep cons that we got to have during those, just with our little Chick-fil-A squad. And let's see, I always really appreciated that you let me edit your papers for you if you had one. And I hope I wasn't too harsh about that. But you took the criticism super well. And I really admire just how loyal you are to people, because the people that you care about, you're just really, really defensive of them and want to take care of them, protect them as well as you can. And I will forever be sad that you didn't get to come with us on Beach Reach last year because of that high kicking contest that you lost.
I did not lose.
I mean, in theory, you did. So, Okay, so I am so glad that you had come to merge and then we're working with the 1-year-olds at Calvary, so that I got to meet you. And then when I saw you on the front steps of PCM when we were about to do snow cones, I forced you to hand out cards with me that first day. And I'm so glad that you stayed, because we've had a lot of fun Chick-fil-A runs and Starbucks runs and deep cons. And I have a picture to show of Nick. When we were coming back from Passion last year, we stopped at Chick-fil-A, and he ordered the 30 count. And I think, did you finish them all that night? Or
Oh
did you
yeah.
save some? Yeah. So in case you want to know, no one ever orders a 30 count, but Nick did, and he ate it all by himself. So I am so glad that you and I have been friends for 2 years, and I'm super excited to see where you're going to go now.
Hi, Nick. I remember babysitting with you one time in a church. I was struggling big time, and you helped out. And I also love that you're willing to learn a new genre of music. And I was teaching you some Afro music when you drove me home one time, and you were like dancing to it. I'm so sorry that I can't remember what music we were playing, but I know we play like multiple music. And if I remember, I'm gonna tell you. But I can always share like different African music if you want them.
Always. You know I get down to it.
You do.
Nick, I always appreciated your stubbornness. How you'd always pop in my office to ask me a question, some theological question, and we talk about it and have a good conversation. And I said, "Well, who else have you asked about it?" And you would list off 3 or 4 other people you've asked the same question to. And your stubbornness is how you go ask every single person to get their insight. I think sometimes you didn't want to hear when we all agreed on the same answer to give you, but you at least were searching the scriptures, and I appreciate your honesty and your willingness to keep digging in God's word. So stay after it, man.
Nick, everybody's kind of hit on some of the same things, and really do appreciate the one thing this year, just the things that you were able to collect for the auction. It was just amazing to see you get excited about it. But then the other thing that is the way people have mentioned it, but I've just been amazed at how you just interact with little kids, and how even at church, and you know the parents, you know the kid. Well, you might know the kids more than you know the parents, but it's just really neat to see that, and to see your servant heart, even when at church and at our ministry. And so we just pray that God will continue to give you direction in whatever the next step is. Anything you wanted to say?
If only I could get all that money back from Chick-fil-A. I'd be rich.
Oh, yes. And Starbucks.
And Starbucks. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have words.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask Rick. We usually gather and lay hands on our seniors as we send them out and pray for them. There, I see some hands that are being laid on them. Rick, will you lead us in a time of prayer for our graduates and our seniors?
Yeah. God, we just thank you for the gift of laughter and the gift of friendship, and how those two go together. And it's just filled my heart full, a lot of joy just listening to the interaction tonight, and just the way people have touched each other's lives these last 4 years. And I just thank you that they are able to develop that kind of community within our ministry. I thank you for the ways in which these 7 seniors have invested their lives, the ways they've grown, but the ways that you use them to touch other people's lives and make a real difference in them. And I pray, God, that they will always cherish these times, but always be grateful for them, and always remember them as just a very special time in their lives that you used to not only develop some really cool friendships, but more importantly, to really help them to grow deeper in their walk with you through the impact of other people. God, I just thank you for what you have in store for all 7 of them. And it's just going to be really exciting and cool to see the plans and adventures that you have next for them, how you're going to use them, where you're going to take them. And God, I just pray that they would just continue to find a church, find a circle of Christian friends, a community like this that they can continue to be a part of, to invest in. They can continue to grow in their walk with you, and that you will just use their lives to bring honor and glory to you. God, again, we just thank you so much for all the ways in which they have impacted us and touched us and given us some great memories and given us some lifelong friends. Thank you so much for these 7 seniors and just how much they mean to us. God, we love you. We thank you so much for them. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
One of the things I want to just say is thank you to all of our seniors. Thank you for all that you've done. I've said that repeatedly, but we are going to miss you. And now I want to turn it over to the ones that are coming back. You guys have witnessed what these seniors have done, and now it's your turn. We're finishing up a semester, and this is the hardest thing about college ministry for me is there's really no goodbye. Even when we have these at the building, you guys are still around for finals, but then all of a sudden everybody's just gone and there's no real closure. And we're always seeing students come and go. Every year is a new year with new faces, with old faces having gone. And just for the freshmen, you're now to step up to becoming sophomores that are going to take on more responsibility. Sophomores turning juniors, more responsibility. Now we have a new set of seniors and ones that will impact everyone's lives. And we're going to have a new set of freshmen coming in. I just ask that you guys will be praying for our incoming freshmen. As we are celebrating our seniors, we also look forward to continuing. And what happens is I love looking back upon some of these seniors and the people that were seniors at that time that impacted their lives. And now here they are impacting some of these freshmen, your lives. And that it's just continuous, that we are training up and learning from one another and growing from one another. So thank you to our seniors, but looking forward to seeing what you have been what you've done with the impact on the lives of the underclassmen and how they're going to continue to carry on that legacy. I know that that's a challenge too, is as a senior, you're worried. You're like, oh, I don't know. Are they going to be able to handle this? Are they going to carry it on? And that's going to be your guys' challenge. Those that are staying is to continue to develop others and continue the ministry, whatever it looks like. We don't know what it looks like. We sure didn't think it would look like this when we started this semester. And we just have to continue to adjust and yet continue to reach out. Jenna, I love just saying to Nick, thank you for giving a card. So who are you going to give a card to next year? Who are you going to reach out to? Who are you going to contact? Jacob was great at while he was on his co-op. You don't have to be right there to be able to reach out to people. And so we look forward to what God's going to do, but are thankful for what he's already done. I really do miss you guys. We are looking at potential of maybe doing something during the summer. We've kind of got used to this to be able to do something. We will be letting you know what that may look like. And what, as we get closer, be praying for our new leadership team. We have the new leadership team. It was posted in an email if you didn't get that. We have Hannah Smith, Aaron Brask, Shenanigans, Laura, all returning. And then we have Zimba, Rebecca, Carolyn, Hayden, Winnie, and Jackson. Did I miss anybody? I always hate if I'm going to miss somebody.
Tyler Lim.
Tyler, you're. Maybe the sound didn't get there quick enough. Maybe he didn't realize I missed him out there in California. And we also have our new interns this next year. Danielle is going to be, I mentioned that earlier, Aaron and Laura. And so we look forward to what it all entails for next year. Pray for our team as we're going to have a planning meeting. We've been doing everything online, all the interviews, everything. We already had one meeting. We're going to have another. But just be praying for us and continue to see how you can be ministering to people. The things that you're learning right now, don't forget that. Don't forget that you miss unity. You miss the times that you are together. And take every opportunity to, when you are together, when we get back together with people, that you will not just blow it off, that you will be more intentional about your relationships and the time that you get to spend with one another. I think that that's the one thing that we've really learned, in reaching out to other individuals. Continue to stay in contact with one another. Just sending text messages, a phone call. I know that phone calls aren't from your generation. You guys don't use phones other than texting, but call somebody. Make something different. So that's all we have for tonight. Zimba's going to post on our GroupMe the video, the link to that. And so I'm sorry that I couldn't ever get the sound to work. You'll be able to, there's a sound to that video. And so you'll be able to go hear that. Anything else from anyone else?
I have a proposal. I would like to propose Tyler Lim to be the professional dancer for next semester. When we're doing worship, he will be dancing around.
Tyler can sing too. I think he should sing while he dances.
I think I need a partner, and I think Daniel would be a fantastic partner.
Oh, bet. I'll do it. I'll come back.
No. I need Daniel. Okay, I'm sorry, Nick. But Daniel, this is for Daniel only. Okay.
Mr. Peng, you gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Then I think unfortunately I will not be able to be a dancer. I'm sorry. Disappoint you guys.
All right. Well, let me close us and pray for you guys as you wrap up your semester and your finals. And then we will turn the recording off and be dismissed. Father, what a wonderful night. Lord, I thank you for the opportunities that we've had to be together, even through a pandemic. Father, I pray that you would be with these students as they enter into finals, and as it's different, and yet help them to do well, to study well, to recall well, to just be able to finish strong. Father, I just pray that you would continue to be with us, that we would be able to be encouraging to one another, and then also just to encourage others around us, and to be able to reach out. And Lord, we just pray for our world as we are in a very difficult time and trying to figure out what the next steps are. Pray as states start opening back up, and just how that all works. Father, I thank you for your love for us, and you sending your Son, Jesus Christ, so that we may have eternal life, and that is what we want to spread and want to tell others. Lord, help us to do that in the best way we can. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you guys for being here.